Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are back one more time.
CP time. CP time.
Yeah, we're on CP time a little bit. Got a little throwback this morning. That's okay, though. So, yeah, y'all should get used to this. This is our intro music. Welcome to Beauty and the Brains podcast this morning.
Good morning, everybody.
I am your host, Luke 1817, with my co-host here.
Hello.
Well, and we are back in the building. Yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one. I'm gonna start curving that music down. Y'all see the title that's on the screen. So today we're talking about communications and social media. But before we get into that, how's your week been?
Busy. That's
Busy.
the word for it. Busy.
That was the word last week.
Yeah. It's been busier and hectic.
What's creating this business?
Okay, so a little short rant. I got a letter in the mail from the Department of Motor Vehicles.
Uh-oh.
And they were saying that my license was about to be suspended. And I was like, for why? So I read the letter, and it pretty much said that I had an unpaid parking ticket or citation,
Okay.
which I knew was a lie. So I went and did my research, and I actually did pay that ticket, but I guess in their system it wasn't considered paid.
Mm-hmm.
So they just literally charged me another $45 to not get my license suspended. Yeah.
The local politics, the local state, the local, all of that when it comes together.
Yeah.
2 thumbs down,
0
Cisco
out
and
of
E-Work.
10, I do not recommend.
I agree with you. So my week has been pretty cool.
Okay.
I started off the week though. I caught this this bug right quick, and so it was like 24 hours, and I was like back on my feet. We'll talk about that kind of stuff later.
Yeah.
But it knocked me down right quick, and I was like, oh, okay. So you know what I'm saying? I had some good friends like bring some soup, stuff like that. Give me some recommendations, and and here I am. But it's been a pretty relaxed week. I really have no complaints. I'm looking forward to next week. So this is going to be the show that's going to mark the beginning of next week.
Period.
Amen.
Amen.
So as y'all can see, we did kind of get started a little bit late. Our apologies, but technical difficulties is what we'll call it.
Just running off of CP time. It's okay.
Running off CP time. Amazing. So we're here talking about communications and media. Wait a minute. We have to recap last week. So last week we talked about what was the topic from last week?
We talked. Let me go back.
Okay. You got to go back and remember.
We talked about the laws of attraction last week.
Right. The laws of attraction. Which I feel like that was a pretty good show.
It was. It was a real good show.
And we ran the laws of attraction through like relationships and current events. And it all just blended.
It did.
So, and for those listeners that have been consistent with us, we want to apologize about the mic quality, but it's our fault because we haven't always been speaking directly into the mic, even though it's, right here. So we want to apologize about that for y'all that couldn't hear us before, but we're getting better.
Yeah.
Hold on. I think I just got
get so heated into the conversation.
That's true. And then you turn sideways and it's over. It becomes a one-on-one conversation.
You was talking heavy, you.
It was a little light something.
Little light something. Oh Lord.
Well, we're gonna continue to keep moving because it's gonna one day, hopefully soon, I'll be able to just and then you rant.
Okay.
We got some things coming for y'all, so we're gonna be outside pretty soon too. It's gonna be fun. Yeah.
So please stay tuned. Please stay tuned.
Wait, you say what?
Please stay tuned.
Oh, I thought you said.
Well, it went with it. Don't do that. It went with
okay. Stay tuned. So, let's see where we are. 1 second. Okay.
Mm.
Actually, we kind of like right on time. We're really not that far behind.
We're
Like,
not.
that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I hope everybody out there has been having a good week so far.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Able to overcome your obstacles, because this has been one that's been kind of trying for a lot of people, especially with that FLMP light bill that came out and just dropped on people's head. They think they go power though, low key.
They do, but
they really do.
You're not. You're Florida Power and Lights. I need you to act accordingly.
You need to ease your way into this thing.
Ease into there. You can't
just go straight in there.
You can't just go straight in there. You need to just.
Can't just go straight in there, FLMP. You got to ease your way in. Amazing. Somebody tag FLMP in this so that way they're made aware that the community is not happy.
Because at this point, you can just cut them off. Just cut them off.
I don't know about all that. But give somebody you know what I'm saying, 2 or 3 month, redo. Anyway, so current events and shenanigans. This is our next subject matter. Mm-hmm. And there's some pretty interesting topics in here, because not only are we talking about the current events when it comes to our bills, having to pay these bills, and everybody seems to be following suit with charging too much money. But anyway, I digress. This excessive heat.
Woo.
Over the top heat.
This
what
is
do
the
you
type
think is
heat
going
that
on?
make you want to take off your wig, your eyelashes, makeup, everything. Just be natural, baby. Embrace it. And
you know how many weave pieces that I've seen in the road?
Yeah.
Is that due to people fighting, or is that due to somebody being like, whoo?
It could be to both.
Because it's too hot.
Too hot. Just snatch it off. I don't need care no more. Just in the wind.
I see. So most likely it's a whoo. Man, it's hot. Agreed.
It's been in the hundreds. Now, we did have a little cool, light 85 the other day. I was like, okay, a little breeze, but it's been in the hundreds all week.
Where do you think this heat wave came from? Like, be honest.
The world is heating up, global warming,
okay.
and all the stuff we do to the Mother Earth. Yeah.
Okay. I see. Amazing. We're really in like a This is an interesting show. This is an interesting dynamic.
Okay.
And we're in an interesting time right now. So, and I have to remember that as I'm speaking, you got to remember that what's the word? Okay, moving on, because I can't think of the word. So what I'm saying is this, is that things are like running at the same time at once. You know what I mean? So as they're giving the same narrative of saying like global warming, right? And then we tune into that, we say global warming, and then that's for a time. And then you start to realize that, wait a minute now, we only inhabit so much.
Right.
As our entire world species, if you want to look at it as one thing. We only inhabit so much, and we're only producing so much. So then you have to measure what we're producing against what the earth produces naturally, as far as pollution goes. You know what I'm saying? And you'll see that we are not even a second, like how you measure things in like tenths and 18ths. We're not even a second of what the earth produces on its own, toxic waste wise. So when we say global warming, that global warming perspective can only last for so long before it's realized that it's not real. Now, once we go into the play, and that takes some doing, because it's sciences that go with that. So things have to be unlearned and then relearned. Things have to be forgotten about, because it's always been like a misdirection kind of thing. So now the question is, well, why is it so hot? Whenever, let's say for instance, you catch a cold, right? And then when you catch a cold, what does your body do?
You get a fever.
You turn up the heat, right? So, but your body or our bodies, whenever we pass on, it goes back into the earth, right? So essentially, your body is copycatting what the earth does for itself, right? So if the earth has a virus and the virus can't withstand the heat, you have to, it's because in order to see a thing, sometimes you have to step off of it. You remember them pictures they used to have, and then you walk close to it, and then they give you like a whole nother picture that's inside the picture. Yeah. So think about this like that. Sometimes you have to back up off of things to see the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So the thing that cannot handle the heat is what's targeted whenever you turn up because the body says there's a foreign object in here. I need to burn it out. So the body turns up the heat. Like you said, you get a fever, and that burns out the virus. The earth is the same way. So there's a virus on the earth.
Do you know what it is?
Oh yeah.
What is it?
The virus that we have. Well, first of all, you have to look at it like this, because I don't want to just say it. I want you to realize it, because then it's going to be for you to see how you see it. Okay. That makes sense. So we live in a world that's supposed to be made up of like trees and bushes and plants, animals, clouds, water, right? But if you notice, everywhere that there's new industry, there's concrete and steel, right? Now, in buildings before, you would make your building out of the same materials that's in the environment. Right. So your bricks would be made out of the mud that's on the ground you're standing on, right? And most times those bricks would be solid, because we still got some of those buildings downtown right now. So those bricks were solid. Right. You didn't need to change the composition of the brick to create a new thing called cement and all these different type of things, right? So the ones that utilize things that are not natural to the planet in order to survive, there's your virus. Wow. You understand?
I understand.
Okay, cool. Now, that's one aspect of why it's so hot. Then you have to look at things from a universal standpoint. Okay. When we're inside of with the planets, the 9 planets, so we're inside of our own
solar system.
Yes, our own solar system. So inside of certain solar systems, there's multiple suns. There's not just one. They only show you the one because the one is centralized to our. It's based on mathematic sacred geometry. So it's that star is the center of these 9 celestial bodies, right? So because of that, that star is considered the sun for that space. However, suns are plural things, because stars are numerous, right? And some are larger and some are smaller. So there are certain times when you're in your elliptical orbit that these stars reposition themselves in the sky, and you can have you can have a space where there's a star in another body or within a certain gravitational pull. When you introduce another star into a foreign gravitational pull, it's going to suck that star towards it. So now when you look up in the sky, it's going to look like you have 2 suns or 3 suns. And earlier this year, especially in overseas in foreign land, they were able to see the sky more clearly than what we can see over here for pollution and, smog and stuff. They were witnessing 2 suns in the atmosphere. They were taking pictures of it, and there would be 2 suns in the sky, one further away, one closer. Wow. Right? So it's already been in existence. It's already been happening since about the end of 2021. We've had a star in our gravitational pull. Now, you can measure this because you remember when they were telling us that there's a red giant and all that, and then you looked up in the sky in the middle of the night and it was this giant red moon. Mm-hmm. That was the star. Wow. Which was it's like a planet, like a celestial body. Mm-hmm. So some call it Nibiru. Mm-hmm. And Planet X and all that, right? Mm-hmm. So this thing is in our elliptical orbit, and it's passing us, and every time it passes us, it gets closer, and then as it progresses through the sky, it gets further away. That's when it starts getting smaller and smaller, because it gets close, just like a car. If a car passes you in traffic, when it's closest to you, that's when it's the biggest, and then as it passes by, it gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's relativity. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So when you have multiple suns inside of your gravitational pull, then you get more heat. Mm-hmm. Now, we also forget about the other celestial thing that happened in 2020 with the planet Betelgeuse.
Planet Betelgeuse.
You remember that movie?
Yes, I remember the movie.
You remember the movie, right? That's crazy.
I remember the movie.
Right. That movie is based on an actual star, a real star.
Wow.
That's in the solar system. So that star blew up, and when it blew up, the energy from that star came to us. That was when we had our weather was upside down. We had hurricanes, and then it got cold in the summer and all that. Mm-hmm. That was energy from that explosion. Mm-hmm. Now, what they didn't report was that there was it gave birth to a black sun. And that black sun came on a trajectory towards Earth. Mm.
So did it land on Earth already?
Well, it didn't land, but it went into.
So like into the like
openings.
Atmosphere.
Right. It went into the interior of the planet. The black sun. See, you got to go look for this stuff. This stuff is not going to be mainstream. Just telling everybody. It's not. Mm-hmm. You have to go look for it and the reason you have to look for it, it's very studied, but you have to go look for it because it directly affects melanin, the melanin principle on the planet. Mm-hmm. So when you go into the sun, remember now we talked about why is it extreme heat? Mm-hmm. So when you go into the sun, your genetic structure has already assimilated to there being two suns in the sky and one inside of the planet. Mm-hmm. So what do you think is happening to you? There's a black sun on the interior at the solar plexus. Mm-hmm. This is why when you eat food, it goes in, it gets hot. You get hot from the middle when you eat, right? Mm-hmm. And then they say all the blood rush to the middle and then you start exuding heat. But when you eat soul food or eat a big meal like that, you get hot here. Mm-hmm. This is where your internal sun is. So it's supposed to match the frequency of the interior of the planet because that's the digestive tract. Mm-hmm. That's why there's lava and magma on the inside of the earth. It's
but they
digestion.
Won't say that, though.
No, because it's digestive acid. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So once that happens for a person and you're in alignment and you step out into the two suns in the sky, you're going to feel a radiation type heat. Not it's burning me alive from the outside. You're going to feel radiant. So that means you're going to get hot on the interior, and then that heat is going to radiate to the outside. This creates a purge. This is what gives you lighter cellular structure. That is what begins to heal cancer and get rid of HIV and all these other type of things that's running around out here. Because the suns deodorize. They clean.
We'll teach that with the patients and everything.
No. And you being in nursing, imagine you taking that into nursing and understanding you'll know how to treat your patients in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It'll make more sense to them as well.
It makes a lot of sense.
How come they patients don't ever see the sunlight?
Because they teach them to stay out of the sun.
Of course. Because the hospital is not made for you or me. It's not made for us. We have to be honest. Mm-hmm. That is for an extreme emergency. Mm-hmm. But when you go, especially by us being in the Bible Belt, it tells us that there's everything that you need to heal is already here. Mm-hmm. You don't need an artificial intelligence to tell you how to heal your body when God gave you the information already. Mm-hmm. So ye that walk with little faith or no faith whatsoever, you're going to go run into that thing for every single ailment, pain, it doesn't matter. Everything. But the fire should be healing you. What happened to Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego when they threw them in there?
They didn't burn.
They didn't burn.
Mm-hmm.
They healed.
Mm-hmm.
It was different.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Talking heavy this morning.
Talking with a little weight.
Heavy.
Talking with a little weight. And we ain't even had breakfast yet. I know I didn't.
I didn't have breakfast yet.
I didn't even have breakfast yet this morning. But good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Interesting. So, okay. So we talked about it. Dang, Pensacola upper 90s to 100s. That covers the whole thing. Mm-hmm. So look at the region you put on there.
The Bible Belt.
Yes, which is the deep South. Mm-hmm. So that's the hottest parts of the country right now. Mm-hmm. Interesting. Mm-hmm. Y'all listen. Okay, I know I'll be supposed to say this stuff on Monday, but y'all better wake up. You better get it together. Get it together. Get your world together. So, do you burn in the sun?
Do I burn?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You don't burn?
Like burn up,
get sunburn.
It depends on how long I'm in there and if I put on sunscreen.
You put sunscreen on?
Yeah. I'm a little red, so I got to put on sunscreen.
Okay.
I've gotten sunburn before.
So you do burn in the sun, but it takes a while.
But it takes a while. Like I have to be out there all day. Yeah.
I see. Okay. I don't burn.
Of course not. You have way more melanin than me.
But okay. So look, when I was a little kid, I was lighter than you.
You was lighter than me.
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't know. I guess playing outside and stuff like that. But
outside.
Okay. I don't know what happened to me, but it happened. So I don't burn. I don't burn the sun. I just keep getting more and more like baked, like a can. Like what's that thing called? A kiln, a pottery or whatever. That's what happens to me. You know. So it's very interesting though. So you said this is not the same heat we experience as children.
No,
what do you mean?
Because as kids, we could be outside all day in the summer and it wouldn't affect us. Mm-hmm. But now we could be out to 5 minutes and we burning up.
That's facts. But what's your diet like? What you eating?
What do I eat?
Yeah.
Some of everything. I'm not gonna lie, except pork. I don't like pork.
You don't eat pork, but you eat beef.
Beef?
Yeah.
Occasionally.
Okay. You don't eat steak, do you? Okay.
Well, for one, I can't chew it. I got braces. So.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well, that's good. That's saving you. Because that steak stuff that is horrible. Steak is horrible. First of all, did you know you're supposed to, whenever you cook meat, you're supposed to cook out all the blood.
I had a feeling you're supposed to do that, but some people like it bloody. So, but to each his own.
But
no shade.
We're in the Bible Belt. The Bible says that the blood belongs to God. So that is not yours to consume raw. Because then you take on genetic coding when you eat stuff, right? Because you are what you eat. So you're supposed to burn it all out to get that. That was the purpose of the sacrifice, was the blood. Right. So that means that belongs to the Creator, not you. It's not yours to consume raw. And then when you eat that blood raw, it does something to your body. Because think about the difference between a snake and a gerbil.
It's a major difference.
It's a major difference. You know what I'm saying? A lion or a cow.
It's a difference.
It's a major difference. The world tells us that to consume is Luciferian, though.
Yeah, it's a whole chapter in the Bible on that. What you're supposed to eat and what you're not supposed to eat. It's like in Leviticus. But
to consume, period.
Yeah.
Because even just to consume, something has to die. Even if it is a plant, something still has to die. So even by the fact that you're consuming, that's Luciferian. So
it's deep.
Most Christians eat.
Yeah. It's gluttony.
All the time.
Gluttony. 7 deadly sins.
Interesting.
And they pushing that now, though.
What?
They pushing gluttony. You know, they do a lot of the mukbangs and everything.
Oh yeah.
People got all these large amounts of food and they just stuffing themselves with it.
Let me ask you this question. It's not to be too heavy, but I'm just curious. So, how long you been going to like Bible study and church and stuff like that?
All my life.
For all your life? Okay, and all your life, have you heard about angels, demons, this, that, and third? Do you know a demon when you see one?
Do I know one when I see one?
Yes.
No.
Why
Talking
not?
about the real world, because they don't really teach it. Now, if you go study for yourself, you know what they look like. But I know for a fact, I know what an angel looks like. An angel looks completely different than what they show you. Like the person dressed in white with the wings. An angel is like kind of like this creature almost with like multiple eyes around it, and then it has wings. But it doesn't look like what they show you, if that makes sense.
Right. So you would not be able to identify a demon if you saw one.
No.
Why do you think that's a thing for a group of people that rely so heavily on angels, demons, heaven, hell? Why would you not be able to recognize a demon?
I feel like it's because they try to push it to where they're like invisible and they just go inside of people so you can't really see them. And they try not to scare people away from like church or whatever. But I feel like if you're more transparent with church and you tell the truth and you preach directly from what the Bible is supposed to say and not put your own opinions or whatever into it, a lot more people will understand and a lot more people will like come attached to you, or if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. But even still, if more people join up, you're still not teaching them how to recognize what you're teaching about. You get what I'm saying?
I get it. I ask these questions all the time. I'm like, okay, how come in church, like when it comes to like growing up and everything, let's just say young adult, the youth to young adults, how come y'all don't teach kids the importance of abstinence and how to get through it rather than just saying, oh, don't have sex before marriage? Like you can tell somebody that all the time, but if you're not guiding them through it, it's kind of pointless.
It is pointless.
But I'm not in charge of a church, so I just
but you attend, right?
I do attend.
You attend. You're there to give support. You're there to help out. You're there to learn, right? So if you're going to teach about something and say that it is a thing and that is negative or whatever, or positive, whatever, then your people should be able to recognize those things in the real world. Otherwise, it's left up to interpretation of whoever's in charge.
Effective communication.
You understand? So how do you know when you're looking at a demon? You don't.
You don't.
So how do you know that when the heat is rising, it's a negative thing or a positive thing? You don't know, right? So the most important aspect of what I'm saying today, because we're going to get to communication and social media, but this is in alignment with that because this is communication,
right?
Right? What you don't know comes back to
bite you.
Sometimes in the ass, sometimes in the thigh,
sometimes
in the ankle,
bite your head off.
But it'll come back to bite you. Listen carefully. Now, the heat is going up throughout the Bible Belt is what we were talking about. By the heat going up through the Bible Belt, that means that not going to say that means, one would assume that this is the greatest call in the country, okay? This is where the heaviest change or transfer of energy, because that's what heat is. This is where the greatest transfer of energy needs to happen because it's the hottest part.
Right.
Now, we say it's naturally hot based on equator, based on this, based on that. But you go through the south region and it gets hot, then you go down below it and it starts cooling down. So what's that telling you?
Antics going on up here.
Look at this thing. We're having a call for us to rise and raise our Kundalini energy as a people. And it's right here in front of our face. Now, we're going to talk a little bit more about this on Monday's show. Okay. But at the same time, there is a call for people to raise themselves up. That's man, woman. The children already got it encoded.
Mm-hmm.
They just need leadership. Mm-hmm. But the men and the women that are in the space of feeling these things, it is a call for you to wake up in the moment now. That's the heat. You know what I'm saying?
Get out of fairy tale land.
This is not a fairy tale land, and this is a real life thing. So we're going to move on from that, keep it pushing. What's next?
The questions on topic.
The question on topic? Really?
Yeah.
Oh, because we over? What about home?
Slight rant.
The Home Depot. Well, we got started later, though, so you can't really count it.
Oh, well, go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Depot.
So what do you feel about how a basic apartment starts at $1,500? That's the topic on here.
I feel it's outrageous. It's outrageous. If I'm getting 1 bedroom and 1 bathroom and probably not even 900 square feet, why am I paying $1,500 for a 1 bedroom? And then you got to make 3 times the rent. So, and I have a real rant about it. Like, do the people in the leasing office make 3 times? Like, what's going on?
Where are these apartments at that you're talking about?
All around.
Like in every single aspect of society?
No, I'm talking about Pensacola.
That's what I'm saying. Like is it like Sunrise that's charging like $1,500 for one?
Sunrise, they like in the 900.
900. But that's still like subsidized though.
We're talking about unsubsidized. Like anybody can get it.
Oh, I see. So they putting these new apartment complexes up and charging $1,500 for a 1 bedroom.
Or more.
That means but you're a local.
I'm a local.
So that means they're not being built for you.
Then where am I supposed to stay? Underneath the bridge?
That's not corporate America's problem.
What corporate America in Pensacola? I feel like at the same time, let's just be honest. If you're trying to divide us up by, I guess, standards and how much we make, you need to go ahead and run through there. It's a lot of white people that make the same amount I make. It's a lot of Indian, Puerto Rican, whoever. We all make the same. Like, we're in the same location. So I need y'all to knock it back down. Okay. Visitors, whatever y'all want to do, y'all can come. But I feel like I need to leave. We're overcrowded. Yeah.
You think it's overcrowded?
Yes.
This place is not overcrowded.
I feel like it is.
It's not big. You see how many houses there are out there that's available, like for sale?
Yes, but you got to think about it, though. Like, everybody that's coming in, they're coming from a different place.
Right.
And then the new people, the new places that they're building, to me, it just doesn't give home. Like, y'all are paying $500,000 for a house downtown, and y'all don't even have yard space. But it's literally house on top of house on top of house.
Okay, have you ever lived in another downtown, like Atlanta or New Orleans or Houston, or you ever lived in a downtown like that?
I've been here forever.
So when you go downtown in other cities, right, it is on top of each other, and the buildings are like smashed together. So like in one city block, it'll be completely filled up. Every face of that city block has buildings, businesses, apartments, whatever. So there is no land space. Most times there's like a central park that everybody can go to kind of like have that greenery feeling, you know, but there's no space. So what they're doing down here is similar in style to a lot of those cities.
But why?
Because if you can buy a lot, let's think economics, like, so if you can buy a lot for $150,000, right? And then you can split that lot and put up 2 houses and sell them each for $500,000. It's about capitalism then. It's not about the family and who used to live on this block, like, because Pensacola is mostly, it was families, so the young stayed over there, the this group stayed over there, whatever. So that's what we're used to, you know what I'm saying? But when you start implementing new people and you start advertising certain regions to the rest of the country as like a safe haven, that introduces those people that are there to break up the family. It makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you used to walk down the street 2 minutes to your auntie house, now your auntie live 30 minutes on the other side of town and you went on north end. And it's all these new people in between. That's called a city. And now Pensacola is slowly being groomed into becoming a city, which means crime is going to go up. Crime is the city. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know? But look what you're saying, though. It's like, man, this stuff too expensive. A lot of people saying that. You know what I mean? But the people that are coming in, they're accustomed to higher prices where they come from. So this to them is cheap.
Must be nice.
You see what I'm saying?
Because I got to up my bag.
Up your bag. But see, that's crazy. Well, okay, so but you just said that y'all make the same amount.
Yeah.
So why, if y'all making the same amount, then why do you need to up your bag for?
So I can securely, move about things. I like to have money and money over. And over and over. I don't like to just be living penny pinching and stuff.
I see. So what are the people that are coming here doing that you're not doing, where they're not saying that they need a bigger bag? They
Most
cool
of them
with what they
probably
got.
work in Navy Fed or something.
Don't you work in Navy Federal?
No.
Oh, you in school right now? I see. I'm gonna tell you something else too.
What?
So I have Asian friends and like Pakistani friends, and so they talk about how they come to, when it comes time for them to move or relocate or whatever they have to do, they'll get one house, the grandma, the daughter, her husband, the children, maybe an auntie or uncle, somebody will all stay in one house. Then they'll all work and bring their money home to that house, pay all the bills. Then they buy each one a car. Grandma is there to help watch the kids and to cook. And so the family unit functions, right? Then if they start a business, everybody in the household may work for the business. You know what I'm saying? So you're getting a check from this business. So you're also establishing your name, establishing your credit, and at the same time, you're living with your family. But as soon as we turn 18,
we got to get up out the house.
You understand? It's so backwards how we do.
We got to do better.
So badly.
We got to do better.
And I know we like kind of jump around topics, but that was, you know what I'm saying? When you hear that stuff, it's just like, what? No wonder, like, you know what I'm saying? How y'all make it work and how y'all able to maneuver it, because they literally be coming over here with nothing.
Just imagine if every black family did what they did right now. We would be a force to be reckoned with.
Oh, yeah,
like,
we would.
We would be unstoppable, but...
We would. But then you got to think about the children, too. Yeah. We're foolish early. So we get fooled thinking, like, Travis Scott is the wave and this, that, and the third. And doing, we do stuff like that. And then we go out here doing all this stupid stuff early. Yeah. Where the other nation, you see their children, they like real humble. And they like, they obedient and stuff like that.
They got real good manners.
Real
good manners.
So one day soon. So we're into, let's see. Oh.
What?
You put on here the Home Depot shooting.
Yeah, because that's a current event. I'm highly offended about that situation.
Why you say that?
Because the mother was in on it the whole time. And then they had like a I want to say like a candlelight situation.
And she was out there?
And she was out there pretending like nothing happened.
That was a very weird situation.
It was.
Who are those people? They from here? Is that lady Asian?
She looks like she is, but I don't know. She could be mixed.
She's like mixed. So is that man? The mixed breed, for real. Think it's a game. All you gotta do is go right down there to the juvenile center and go see who be causing the most trouble.
Them.
It be them. You know what I'm saying? That blood be at war. That's crazy, man. I saw that conversation they had.
Yeah, everybody's seen it.
Like, you have such a free and open conversation with your mama about doing something to somebody.
That's what I was thinking.
That's weird.
I was like, how are you even able to talk to your mama like this?
Right.
Ain't no way.
It's very weird. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-mm.
And I was like, man, like they talking about that junk like she about to go bake a cake and he got to put the icing on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know? And I was like, man, that is so weird.
Mm-hmm.
And then you do it at Home Depot.
Right. Where anybody else could have got hurt.
Amazing. Amazing. Hold on, look like we got somebody calling in. Let's see who this is. Hello.
Hey, how are y'all this morning?
I'm doing good. Who's calling?
Marlena.
Oh, what's up, Marlene? How you doing?
Hey, good. How about you?
Pretty good.
Good. I just wanted to kind of comment. I missed some of the beginning of it, but I kind of wanted to comment about like the $1,500 rent.
Mm-hmm.
And so because of the job that I have, I was able to kind of get a little inside scoop on like the price increase.
Mm-hmm.
At one of the apartments I had to go to, the lady told me that out of 100% of their profit, 7% of it goes towards their bonuses for like the managers and stuff. But if they have to do any upgrades, repairs, remodels, or anything like that, that money also comes out of that 7%. So places are more inclined to not do things or to raise the rent in order for like upgrades to happen, or for you to get more space, for you to get better, equipment, utilities, things of that nature. So, it again, yes, it does mess with our economy as far as locals go, but these people are coming in new and they're wanting to keep their bonuses because they feel like that, they deserve that and they don't get paid enough. But that also messes with us because we're not able to afford it. But we also don't get nice things because, they're not upgrading anything so they can keep their bonus.
So this isn't something that's new then. This is something that's been going on.
Correct.
Amazing.
Wow.
Miss Burgess, thank you.
The more you know.
You're welcome.
Okay. Interesting.
Y'all have a good rest of y'all's day.
All right, you too.
The more you know.
Interesting. So, wow. So you raise the rent on your customers to increase your bonus. When you increase the rates, it is supposed to go towards repairs, building the community. But the community never sees any of that, and they're none the wiser because that's information that's not privy to the community.
Communication.
Amazing. I'm telling you, man, the further we go along, America just feels more and more like a giant scam.
Slumlords.
The slum lords. Gonna be living like them people in the Philippines don't I was watching a YouTube video yesterday. I was like, dang, man. They built living structure. They built living structures out of trash.
It's just modernized too.
That is very true. We recycle everything. But they stuff was like,
just trash.
Yes. And I'm looking at the conditions and I'm like, wow, so do we have areas that are like that? Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do. We do. Man, that's crazy. So when you're going out there looking for a new apartment, just stay on your toes because everything is not what it seems. And that's sad that you have to even do that.
Yeah.
It's like what really makes me think about things in a weird way is because if we didn't do that, prices wouldn't have to go up like they do. If people would just do the right thing and get what you're supposed to get, but because you have those people that are like thinking, how can I scratch 10 more cents out of you? How can I scratch $2 more off you? Like we have people that sit here and think like that. It makes life hard for everybody. It's always a few bad apples,
Spoiled a whole bunch.
The whole bunch. So, we didn't even talk about we were talking about the Home Depot thing.
Mm.
Yeah. I have friends that worked at that Home Depot.
Did they see it?
And they was there when it happened. Like,
and what did they say?
they
Are
was
they
like,
traumatized?
I mean, of course you would be. Somebody just come in, you just start hearing pops, like, you know? They were like running and like scrambling, trying to hide and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And that's understandable. But I mean, dang. Wow. You know what else
What?
to spin from that? Because this I do know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if y'all can hear me. Hold on.
Can y'all hear me?
You can hear me? I want to make sure this
Can you
understood.
hear me?
The amount of people that's walking around in Pensacola with mental illness, and they're supposed to be inside of a facility, and they're released within 2 to 3 days, is uncanny. This has always been a thing. So in Houston, they have this thing that you do, like mental health hospitals or adult daycares. You know, to kind of give mental health patients an outlet, right? But then you also have you have care homes. So they'll go by, like, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get nobody too much of the sauce, but they got care homes, you know what I'm saying? And in those care homes, they just pretty much live there. That's where they live. And then they go live their life from within supervision. You know what I mean? Which is something that Pensacola has always, needed. But what's here is going through the hospital to generate the income for the hospital.
Right.
Then you put them back out into the street with a few pills. And if you have another episode, come see us again. But people have gotten killed. People have gotten beat up badly, robbed, all kind of stuff has happened due to the fact of these people that should be living there, roaming the streets. Listen to how this man was talking to his mom.
Right.
That's not normal. You know what I'm saying? And I have other theories on that too, but I'm not, that's for Monday. You know what I mean? Because blood, mindset, it all goes together, So, but at the same time, that's not normal the way this man was talking to his mom. And something wrong with her.
Exactly.
Something wrong with them. And now that lady ended her life. Well, they ended that lady's life.
And now the baby don't have a mama.
Exactly.
Or a dad. Lord have mercy.
And all of these things tying together, It's a sad time we're living in. Okay, so we can move on now. I digress. I'm sorry, y'all. It's that time of day.
It's okay.
Okay.
All right. You want to do the questions?
Sure, I'll do the questions.
All right. So today's first question is, what is effective communication?
Okay, so I'm going to read. That's the definition right there? Okay, so I'm going to read the definition. Effective communication is the process of exchanging ideas, thoughts, opinions, knowledge, and data so that the message is received and understood with clarity and purpose. What you think? Yeah. Do you always get effective communication?
No.
How often do you get effective communication?
I feel like in person it's effective, but over the phone is not.
You mean as far as like texting? Okay. I try to explain that but I don't know what I'm talking about.
You good.
You can't understand emotion through a text message. I see. So what do you think do you feel that most of our communication is broken?
Yeah.
What do you think has caused that?
Social media.
And okay.
And the lack of how to communicate effectively.
But isn't that a learned skill?
Yeah.
Okay. I see. So would that be the fault of the school or the parents?
Both. Because you do have to get your child geared up to go to school. But the teachers can only do so much. Okay, they do teach it, but they don't go in depth with it, if that makes sense.
So, which is true. But what about curriculum-wise?
Curriculum-wise, it should be taught in schools.
Communication. It's a thing that you can go into. But I'm saying as far as the curriculum itself, because some kids learn, like, say if you go to Pensacola Christian, which we know. It's just, we understand. It's a popularity show, all that.
It's a cult. It's giving Jim Jones
I used to go there.
vibes.
And there was this one dean. Everybody got memories of that place. There was this one dean, and he always wore cowboy boots, but you can never hear him walk up on you.
That's not suspicious to y'all?
Oh, very. And we called it out, too. We were like, wait a minute, man. You got cowboy. I'm talking about the kind that curve up in the front.
Yeah,
with the little, yes, they click and clack. And you know how them bricks are outside of Pensacola Christian, right? You heard nothing. You would look up and he would be standing behind you.
I don't know, man. He might be.
He was floating on top of them bricks. Anyway, so when you go to Pensacola Christian versus any other elementary school or whatever, right? Then the curriculum is going to be different. And because Pensacola Christian, their nursing program is like one of the top ones in the world. So the curriculum for that versus PSC is going to be different. So if you're not learning from a curriculum that pushes your communication skills, you won't have any. You agree with that? So is it the school's fault or is it the parents' fault?
Both.
It's still both.
Still both.
It's still both. I agree with that. What are some ways social media has an impact on communication, you think?
Well, people don't really I feel like people go to social media to express their feelings, but it becomes a rant. And then it's like too many distractions, if that makes sense. Like people can't create a complete thought and a complete statement because of social media, if that makes sense. You know how people go on live and they ranting about something. It's like, what was the purpose of you coming on? You never get to the purpose because they're just on there.
They're just on there. So that decreases the
attention span.
And communication gets smaller as well. See, social media ain't always the wave. That's crazy. So if we're sitting here because we're being bombarded with so many outlets, now we don't pay attention as long as we used to.
Right. Because you got to think about TikTok. That's a good example. TikTok is literally 30 seconds, something like that. And then you on to the next one. So it literally shifts your mind like that with a swipe.
We got to start using TikTok.
We do.
So I'm sorry, general world, but, we do have a podcast to promote. So we got to start using TikTok too. But we're still going to talk about it.
Yeah, we're still going to drag it through the
mud. Because it's important. TikTok does shorten your attention span. But it was already happening way before that.
Yeah.
I think Instagram did shorts. Facebook did shorts.
MySpace.
Oh, yeah, MySpace. MySpace wasn't for that, though. MySpace was really for communication with people you knew.
It was supposed to be, but I feel like the whole time I was on MySpace, I was changing my background.
For what?
Because that was the thing. Like your background had to move, or you put like a little iPod right there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, every day.
But that was only your friends and family, though, that was on there, right?
Right.
So now we have this new wave of all these unknown random people.
They just follow you in your business.
What do you think social media has done to communication and relationships?
Torn it to shreds.
Like how?
Because it puts like a sense of insecurity there on both parties. And then like everybody has access to you. So even if you were not doing nothing, it makes you seem like you're doing something. Whether it's liking a picture or commenting on something. Yeah.
Especially Facebook. I know Facebook set up for the mess. Because it's been a couple of times I like put like when I was like in a relationship or something, and then I put like a heart or put a comment on it, and then they go broadcast it to the person I'm with that I say I'm in a relationship with. Like when you go on Facebook and be like, I'm in a relationship with such and such, and they put in a relationship with you. So the mess, whatever you were involved in, gonna pop up to the person. It's messy.
Messy.
It's,
It also tells like people who you commented on. Like Luke commented on such and such post, and then it shows the post.
yeah,
Wow,
it's messy.
messy.
Then she be like, "Oh, I know this. I know you ain't out here trying me on the computer." Amazing. Okay, so but we don't want to just drag social media. So pros, social media. It has become a great tool for business, for the transfer of information, and it can be used for excellent communication when used properly.
When used properly.
Remember how people used to make posts and they didn't know how to spell right? Mm-hmm. So when they make the post, people
like, what are you talking about?
Right. Like, if you don't know how to spell there, and then females used to make posts about that. If you don't know how to spell there, don't even come talk to me. And I'd be like, dang, that's messed up. Because you see a lot of people using it out of context. You know what I'm saying? That's messed up. That'd be the same people that be in class that can't read the book good.
Right. They can't read out loud good. I used to be a little anxious when they do that.
Oh, when they get up there and start stuttering, I used to get mad.
I used to be like, dang, this is sad.
I used to
Can we
get
just
mad.
move on to the next person, please?
And the thing that made it so bad was the teacher would keep calling on them.
Yes.
And it's like, bro.
Or she'll let them read for like 3 or 4 pages. Like, come on now. Cut them off now. Cut them off.
Right, that's so true, man. That's crazy.
Messy.
So then let them read half the book knowing they can't read. It's like, come on, man. Anyway.
Messy.
So it can create a better source of income for a person than just working a normal 9 to 5. And it has been so powerful in the progression of the world economically and socially through connection means. So what are the cons?
A lot of them. We're consumed by it.
True.
When do you ever see somebody not on their phone in public?
Yeah, that's rare.
Even driving.
That is true.
That gets on my nerves.
Texting and driving?
Texting and driving, and you trying to be reckless too. Wait a minute, you can't do both. You got to be texting and driving in a slow lane, or you driving reckless and attentive. Pick one. That's how I am. Just pick one.
I see. You know that I think that we use our devices like a pacifier.
Right.
You know,
like we can't put it down.
Something to do. Fidgety. So are people more nervous now?
Probably.
People are more nervous now. So you know when you repeat stuff, when you repeatedly do something, it rewires your brain. So it's like you do it for 30 days, and it's like, so I'm the era where before the smartphone came into play, and we just had regular cell phones. We was selling them in high school, whatever.
Right.
So them flip phones, like them
Nokias.
the Nokia and then the Razor, the first gens and all them.
The Tick-9.
Yeah.
T9.
So we had all those, right? So it wasn't interactive like how these are. So you had a reason you would check it because somebody was actually calling you or texting you. And then if you wasn't playing the snake game, you would put it back in your pocket. You know what I mean? And focus on life. But now with this, you can totally distract yourself. You can totally take your mind out of life and focus on and act like there's nothing else going on around you.
Amazing.
That is amazing. That's scary.
It's very scary.
And you can't even you can't access. So I changed my screen, right? I do my own repairs on it when it cracked. And so when you open it up, the battery is on the inside of a house and you can't even get to it, right? So you can't deactivate this. You can't. You could turn it off, but it's not off.
It's not.
And then even when you get it, the instructions tell you to charge it away from you. Like when you're charging it, charge it like on the other side of the house from your room at nighttime. It's radioactive.
A lot of people don't do that though.
No, we don't do it because we like the convenience of having it right there. Bing. It's all learned. So when we're doing this in repetition, that's rewiring our brain to talk like a text message. That's why our attention span and our communication skills went down.
Wow.
Because we talk like we text.
We do. I know I do.
You know, and try to say a lot in a little bit and send it out. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody hates the paragrapher.
I'm love a paragrapher. Send me a paragraph.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
You could, because anytime I come through that, you start reading that first line, you just like, oh yeah, then okay.
I like paragraphs. It means you put your heart and soul into it, and you're really attentive with it, and you have some type of emotion put to it.
Okay.
If you just send me a one line,
How are you gonna relay so much emotion in? Well, I guess it could be like a letter.
I've written letters before, like handwritten them.
Handwrite a letter. You text like you write a letter.
Not all the time. It depends if I like you like that.
Mm.
If I like you like that, I'll write you a letter. On the phone and in person. I'll write you a little handwritten letter.
So, fellas, when y'all get that letter from your lady and it's a long text message, you have to read it with your heart.
You do. And emotions. Bring them to the chat too.
You got to read it with your feelings.
Mm-hmm.
Amazing. Read it as if you was in jail. You was getting a letter from your girl.
Right. Like you probably never
You
seen
see
me
the
again.
scenario just brings sour. Why you got to be in jail?
What you mean?
Why I got to be in a negative
Most
situation?
dudes get excited over letters in jail.
Yeah, but you have to go to jail in the first place. That's what I'm talking about.
You brought it up, not me.
You're right. So we're gonna move on. Right. So let's see. So we got past the cons. It's used for a lot of criminal activities.
Yeah.
And people don't have a personality outside of it. That's a big one. That's a con for social media, is that people don't have a personality outside of it. Do you know? Wow. What have you seen?
I showed you what I've seen. Emotionless people. Okay? Emotionless people. I'm pouring my heart out to you and just like, all right, bet.
But the emotionless people don't register like that. You can't. They wouldn't let you tell them that they don't have any emotion.
I can sense it. I'm a feels girl. I can sense when you don't have any emotions.
You can see it too in people's eyes. Okay, let me ask a question. This is a general question. You can leave a comment in the box below. Also, if you haven't yet, you should like and subscribe. Also, share this for your friends and somebody else that may just benefit from having a little conversation.
Because sharing is caring.
Because sharing is definitely caring. So I have a question. For those people that I'm hungry. For those people that like to, go online and dance in front of the camera and do this type of thing, like on a consistent basis, let's say it like that.
What type of dance are we talking about?
You know what type of dance we talking about?
Talking about twerking?
That's one aspect of it. Without having a career in that field. You know what I'm saying? Because there are some people that have a career in that field. You have burlesque dancers. You have strippers. You have just people that do dance classes and stuff.
Exotic dances. They like that word.
So is that supposed to be fun? I'm confused on why the necessity for that type of action, especially when it comes to adult women.
I feel like to them, in their mind, it's fun, but yeah.
Okay.
They putting themselves out there in a different light.
Like to understand. So then the question I have is, at what point do elders become elders? Like as far as like guiding and teaching and, and like at what point does that start?
For this generation, I don't know.
It doesn't?
I don't know. When it comes to this generation.
Do you feel like that's sad? Because when your and it's not always to like, but it is though. When your grandma came around, you could feel her maturity. So you knew she was grandma. Smell bleach. You smell bleach? Okay. So you knew she was grandma. And grandma had a certain air about her, certain things that she would accept and not accept. And she stood firm on those things.
Right.
So when you think about grandma now, how do you think?
Grandma gonna always be grandma. She had like this aura about her, and she had like this presence that you better not try her no less than grandma.
But that was then.
That was then. Now, it's a lot of grandmas out here that act like children.
So grandma's a child too.
Yeah.
What do you think that does to society?
It slows down our progression.
So I had put this thing on because I did the Wind Down Wednesday show too,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had put this thing on there about rats.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that? You saw, oh, so with it was like an experiment they did, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like for the experiment, what it said was that they had a general population of rats, and then there was certain alpha males that were in there in the thing, and they kept the beta males in check, right? So 4 alphas took up different parts of the container, and they made that their territory. So because the alpha males set up like that, the beta males couldn't move like they wanted to. So then the controller took out one alpha male, and then the beta males all took over his quadrant or his space because he wasn't there no more. And they began to multiply because they would force the female rats to have babies with them, so they would start to multiply. Then he removed another alpha. They took over that space. So all in all, the betas took over the space of all the alphas till one remained, and then they overthrew him or they took him out. And then the betas consumed the whole thing, right? Now what happened with the female, because there was nobody protecting her anymore, she became more aggressive. And because of her aggression or her means to have to protect herself from the ravenous beta male, she became less family oriented because she had to fight them off and then also fight for food because the alpha would provide the food. You see what I'm saying? So she became more aggressive in her approach. By her becoming more aggressive, she also started to neglect her children. Right? So the children were not being fed by mommy like they normally would. So only one would make it out of a litter of 5 to 6, where it used to be 3 to 4. So now you only had one child making it, and barely. So the whole dynamic of the civilization shifted with the removal of the alpha male to the point of extinction, because when they let it go further and further, eventually they stopped having babies. They became sterile.
That sounds so familiar.
It sounds very familiar. So when you look out into society based on that model, what do you see?
Beta males and women becoming feminine. I'm not feminine, masculine, because of the lack of protection.
Again, we're talking about communication and social media. We're living in an era where the beta male is broadcasted. He's like glorified to a degree. And when I say beta male, I'm not talking about as far as like I can go get money and you can't get money, because that's not what defines a complete man. That's a part of it.
It's a part of it, yeah.
But it's not what defines. So to be a man means you have to protect, you have to provide, you have to lead, and then you also have to correct. Or what's a better word for that? Like chastise or whatever. You have to be willing to be the judge. You know what I'm saying? So when we look out here, those qualities are less and less in the people that we call men out here today. And it shows. I digress. So in that way, I do believe that social media has ruined the way we communicate with each other.
I agree.
I feel like it's taking, like you said, taking the emotion out, you know, of the way we communicate. And yeah. So what's the next one?
The next one?
For some reason.
Do you believe that social media has ruined the way we communicate to each other? Well, we just answered that.
Oh, yeah, true. Yeah. Yes, I do.
The next one is communication is vital. Communication could solve a lot of problems in the world today. What problems?
Oh, well, communication is everything though.
Mm-hmm.
Like what was that saying that was always said? Conversation rule the nation.
Mm-hmm.
And so being able to communicate, and communication is more than just speaking words to each other,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's like different forms of communication.
Yeah.
Physical touch.
Mm-hmm.
You have like eye contact, I think, is one. Let's see.
Body language.
Body language is definitely one.
Mm-hmm.
Then the written word
Mm-hmm.
is communication, and there was one more, but communication could solve a lot of problems in the world as far as marriages go, friendships, situationships. What is a situationship?
Situationship is an entanglement.
Like Jada and Alcina?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Business relationships as well. How often do you use communication in nursing?
You use it. That's pretty much the like basis of. That's what they drill into you. Therapeutic communication. Because, for example, if you know like a patient is in pain, or they may be in some people's eyes drug seeking, you have to use communication to like tell them like, hey, you just had your medicine like an hour ago. Let's try something else. And you have to effectively tell them that to where they'll understand it and to where it won't come off as, no, I'm not giving you no more medicine because I just gave you some. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
So are you learning how to be more ethical?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Communication. Mm-hmm. I was told that I don't have any tact.
By who?
Different people. You agree with them?
No.
Because I speak my mind. I don't think nothing wrong with that, is it?
I mean, would you rather be told lies?
No.
Okay, then.
But to tell somebody they don't have no tact, though.
You may have stepped on their toes or something.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, stop slouching.
They did the same thing to Kevin Samuels.
Yeah, but they took him out.
Yeah. All because his delivery.
But he told it. They the ones
telling
asked the question.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have called. How you gonna call somebody else then get mad because what they tell you when you call them? What you call for? That's crazy, man. People crazy.
Y'all made that man famous, and then y'all got mad because he was telling y'all the truth.
Exactly.
Upsetting.
Ended that man's life because he was telling y'all the truth.
I loved Unc.
And what's crazier is that he actually helped a lot of women.
He did.
And they would report that, after talking to him and dealing with him, they would see a significant increase in their life, and that they would get more attention from the men that they sought after doing what he told them.
The high value men.
That's interesting. And the same one simply talking about, they're just like Jesus. He said, what he said? Jesus think he God. He think he God.
Mm-hmm.
Nail him up there.
Y'all did him wrong.
You have to do all that. Nail him up to his own people. Now look at him now. Oh, Jesus, thank you. That's backwards.
That's real backwards.
It was his own people. What was his name? Pontius Pilate. Pontius the Caesar during that time.
Yeah, Pilate.
It was Pilate, right? And he was like, "What have he done?" That wasn't even Jesus' nation.
It wasn't.
The other nation was like, "What did he do?"
They was looking like, "Who is this man?"
Yeah, like who is he and why y'all want to kill him so bad? What did he do? Well, he said he God. We don't play that. What? Like
he performed miracles in front of your own faces.
Right. This man said he doesn't think that's enough to kill him. I'm wiping the blood off my hands. I ain't got nothing to do with it. Y'all do what y'all want to do. His own people. Now look at us today.
Yep.
Backwards.
Be your own folks.
It be your own people. Backwards. Okay. So what is the one thing about social media that you would change if you had the power to?
Who has access to it?
Oh, I see.
Because it's free. Anybody can get it now. I feel like it needs to be like an extensive background check or something before you just hop online and start talking to kids through Roblox.
Please protect y'all children out here, man.
Mm-hmm.
Please protect your children out here.
Did you see what's going on now with Roblox?
No, what happened? Oh, the sex thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
These are kids. Why would you unleash that in a program that nothing but kids play? Like, that's sick.
Why would you have transgender men teaching kindergarten? Now, what's real life has to be accounted for now.
I have my opinions on that, but
So we gotta understand it's only because it's being allowed. The parents are allowing it, you know. So okay, they let us do that. Let's slide this in there and see what happens. So they just shove it in there. Don't know. It's no outroar. There's no protest. There's no stop buying it. None of that. Because of that, remember I told you now. You take the money from the men and give it to the women. Then you take it from the women and give it to the children. It's sad, man.
It's sad society.
It's really backwards. It's gross. It's really gross. And so children just seeing that, because I don't know nobody that play Roblox that's grown.
I don't either.
They're all little, like
all little kids. They go crazy for that Roblox. That and Coco Melon and Gracie's Corner. All of that.
Interesting. So, do you think the social media plays an important role in crime, and why?
Yes.
Why is that?
You got the child molesters, the pedophiles. You got scammers. That's how they get y'all on the social media. That's
very true. You remember when they was doing that change your age or whatever, and it was like an app, and then when people was putting their face in there, it was getting facial recognition to get the information from their phone, and that was coming from Russia. Remember that? So that was a whole thing on why social media, and I say don't put your children on there. I don't post my children. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't post my children like that because this stuff is real. People get followed around Walmart. They be posted up outside of these schools. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the main things that we fail to realize, and you know what I'm saying, we have to think about this stuff, is that the floodgates was open to this country. And when you get the floodgates open like that, it's never good, everyday, hard-working people like what you would expect or assume. It's criminals, because the criminals are going to find their way to get in there first.
It sure is.
So down on the border of Texas, they were using the children. Because there was this thing that Biden had put in place saying that if you came across with a child, you would get precedence. They would take you first. So these people were coming across holding the child, right? And then, well, after a while, they would find the children would be huddled up by themselves in the woods somewhere. They done got abandoned. So who is that adult that came over here carrying a child? Who is that? Exactly.
They probably got kidnapped from the beginning.
Or sold, right? To use as a decoy.
Right.
Then when they get over here now, you turn around, you look at the thing, and you wondering why women getting snatched. You know what I'm saying? We got all these different murders happening and all this kind of stuff going on because you're letting these people come in unchecked. And then, like, oh, no, we need to clean this up after you've committed the problem already. You feel me? It's so bad. And social media has a lot to do with that, because where do you think these people are getting that information from?
People who are already here.
Go on Facebook, create a dummy page. Hey, man, you want to make $1,000 on Cash App right quick? you got Bank of America? Then just click this link right here.
Click the link.
Well, click the link. Put
I'll
out his
send
name.
you $5,000 right now through Cash App. Just send me your cash tag.
Interesting.
Or they pose as a sugar daddy.
Oh, for real? That's the thing. You know, people be in Africa though.
Yeah.
Oh. I thought we was already hip to the African scams.
There be some Americans in there too.
That do the sugar daddy stuff.
They pose as a sugar daddy. They said they're gonna pay you a weekly amount. starting off at like 5,000. They just want your cash tag, but majority of the time, when you give them your cash tag, they like screenshot it, like they sent the money, and then they're gonna send you a link like, oh, you got to pay X amount of dollars to get your money. And I'm like, y'all don't see that's a scam.
And that works.
It works on some people.
People pay the money.
Yes.
I see. I see.
It worked on me, champ. I'm like, I'm not finna pay you to get no money.
Well, first of all, why would somebody hit you up talking about being a sugar daddy in the first place?
Because they look for like vulnerable women or women that's pretty. So like, oh well, she ain't got no man in her life, so let me go ahead and slide myself on in.
And they fall for that.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I mean, you know, to each his own. And if it works, you know what I'm saying?
Make that money, girl.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it, I guess. Especially if a fool gonna give it to you anyway. You might well take it.
Might as well.
You better off going outside and just throwing the money up in the air.
Or getting on Naja Planet.
On what?
Naja Planet.
Naja Planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's the Nigerian Black Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, I done heard it all. Heck no. The Nigerian Black Planet.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you.
What you know about that anyway?
I be doing my research, okay?
You had an account?
Doing my research. Did I have an account? I had one before. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay. I see. All right, now, do you feel communication skills would be better without the internet, and why?
Yes, because we won't be consumed by something, and we can put our attention to other things like reading a book, journaling, something else that stimulates the mind, other than scrolling TikTok for hours and hours and hours.
You so that scrolling action is killing brain cells. You know that. Mm-hmm. Well, I wouldn't say killing brain cells. It destroys synaptic connections. Mm-hmm. So we go here, like for instance, you know how people be like, I'm gonna share a whole bunch of memes, and I just taught you something. Now you woke, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. But that's not the reality. Mm-hmm. Communication or information doesn't spread effectively mm-hmm. through this mm-hmm. because you read it but you forget about it immediately, right? Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, you would go to class, mm-hmm. you would have a lecture, mm-hmm. you have to talk about it mm-hmm. and read a book or read a passage on it, mm-hmm. and then 10 years from now you can still remember what you learned about in that class. Mm-hmm. So when we're moving into a dynamic where we're learning everything from here, it means that in 5 to 10 years, people won't remember nothing that happened in this time. Mm. That's gross. Mm-hmm. And then all you got to do is just scrub the internet, and it never existed, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. So our people are not communicating effectively because we don't have to go through the same modes of communication. Mm-hmm. Storytelling. Mm-hmm. We don't do that anymore.
Sure don't.
You know, the teacher, even if it was math, the teacher had to tell you a story mm-hmm. to make it make sense.
Right.
Everything needed a story or else it didn't make sense. Mm-hmm. You know, when we learned history, mm-hmm. we had to learn through storytelling. Mm-hmm. But where did storytelling come from?
Back in the day.
Aboriginal. Mm-hmm. So that was first landers. That's the way we taught. Before anybody thought to write anything on the wall of a cave, mm-hmm. let that soak. We use storytelling. Mm-hmm. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So we orated our message. That's why we're so good at music. Right. Because we speak our message out. Mm-hmm. And then it ingrains into our people. The next generation sing those songs. Right. Then the next generation sing those songs. Mm-hmm. You know? So that's the way we did our history mm-hmm. and our learning. Mm-hmm. So now we have this new age thing where here's this tablet. Read these pages on this tablet. Then do this assignment on this tablet. Mm-hmm. So by the time you grown, we just gonna scrub that off the internet and it never existed. So really, you don't know nothing.
You don't know what you're talking about.
So exactly. So where are you coming from? So why you out here? So you're indispensable. So go to this concentration camp. That's the way I would set it up if it was me.
They might be taking notes on this. You never know.
They could be taking notes. And if you are taking notes, it won't work. I'm just telling you.
Why won't it?
Because the God gene has a way of, see, we ain't even got there yet. The God gene has a way of rearranging itself to fit the current standard. For instance, you know how America is like full of trash food, toxic food?
Mm-hmm.
And so even if you're eating vegan and eating healthy, it's still toxic,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what your genetics, and this goes down to melanistic principles, why
Mm-hmm.
trying to shift it around us.
Mm-hmm.
Melanin will transform. It will mutate
Mm-hmm.
in order to accommodate what's there.
Mm-hmm.
Then it will use what's there to create a totally different creature than what was.
Mm.
That's called the Incredible Hulk.
You for real or is this really?
I'm dead serious.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Right. Transforming from one creature into another creature
Mm-hmm.
based on sunlight and melanin.
I love melanin.
It's dope.
Mm-hmm.
Me too. So, you know, we out here doing our thing. Wait a minute. That's the end?
Yeah.
No, it's not the end.
You
Heck
said
no.
5 questions now.
Oh, that is. Oh, I see. Okay. Okay, so here we are
Mm-hmm.
at the top of the hour. I really kind of feel like we should run over a little bit, but
Okay. That's fine.
you want to run over a little bit? Okay. So we can continue with this. Y'all hit us up with questions that you have about communication or comments that you may have about communication, because there are people out there that have majors in communication,
Yeah.
but it means different things,
Mm-hmm.
you know? So you could be a news anchor. That's a different form of communication than an engineer.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So tell us what communication is for you and how you feel that communication could better be utilized in your everyday life.
Let me check the questions. See if somebody sent something.
Oh, to see if people on there. I feel like people tune in. People kind of like our show a little bit. You know. Let's see. Were you going to the Gmail?
I was at Gmail. There's none in there.
Hold on. Communication and social media. Oh, dang, I was from the broadcaster here. People are credulous. Let's see. Because of outside triggers. Okay, so Ms. Sanders said, let's see. I think people are more nervous because of all the outside triggers. Just being at the movies or grocery store could turn deadly. What
I
do you
agree.
think about that? You agree with that?
Mm-hmm.
That is very true.
Mm-hmm.
When do we get like that?
When?
Yeah. Because in the 70s, when we watched TV shows from the 70s, like the Brady Bunch and all that,
Mm-hmm.
they could walk around outside, leave their doors wide open, and you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it was like it was safe.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in bigger cities.
Mm-hmm.
So then in the 80s, you know, we got a little bit more darker, but it wasn't bad.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was still community, you know, and in the 90s was just turned up,
Yeah.
you know, but everybody was on some freak stuff. We weren't really on no
Yeah. That's
killing
right.
people like that. So what happened?
I don't know. It depends on where you used to live. Because I know my mom is from Selma.
Mm-hmm.
So they ain't really do too much of that, leaving the door open, stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was real out there.
Oh yeah, like Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I see. But I'm still curious because my grandma and them, they left the doors open. They would. But they were from a whole nother generation of people where I wish you would come in my house. You know what I mean?
I mean, my dad's mom used to do that. She used to leave her door wide open.
Mm-hmm.
But
you can't do that no more. You can.
you can if you depend on like where you stay at. Like if you stay in a good solid neighborhood, or I would say your neighbors. If your neighbors are pretty cool, then I feel like you can leave your door open and leave it unlocked. But no, like for example, if you stayed in like Truman Arms somewhere, or
Oh yeah, nah.
any of the courts,
Yeah. That's different out there. That's like, I guess that would be considered what we would call a slum for us.
yeah.
But even though it's not really a slum.
I feel like to them it's a slum.
Yeah. for interpretation.
Yeah.
I see. Well, what I do know is that communication is how we live our everyday life. You know what I'm saying? And we can't get around communication. The moment you open your eyes, there's letters everywhere, there's numbers everywhere. Even when you lay down to sleep, your ears are still recording. You know, you can still smell smells, which is communication, and taste tastes, and touch things. All of this is communication. And as beings, we used to be more aware of how we did that. But now we're disconnected away from true effective communication is. We become disconnected. And as a result, it shows in our everyday living experience. Just how far disconnected we are away from positive communication or effective communication. You know, when a lawyer comes around, we don't even know what to say.
That's true.
You know, you're speaking a whole nother language when you enter a courtroom. You know what that language is called? Legalese.
Legalese? Wow. That's cute.
If you figure it out, it ain't gonna be cute.
I don't want to figure it out.
You should figure.
I'll
What
leave
you
that
mean?
for Watson and them.
No, that's your job.
Me?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't.
It's because it's well. Here's the thing. So it's not that it's easy. But it's really simple. It's not the same things. So there's a whole journey you have to go through into understanding how to apply it and what it stands for. Because if I come to you and I say black, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
The color.
The color, right? But that's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
What I'm saying is, legally, you don't exist on paper, and you have no standing in the public environment, which is a legal definition of the word black.
Black people.
That's the legal definition. That black has nothing to do with people. It's just a word. So because we attach that to ourselves and say that we're black people, now we attach to the word in the legal dictionary. That's what the whole thing is built on. So the definitions. So the definition says that legally you don't have a standing and you don't exist. Because you don't exist, the police don't have to treat you nice. They don't have to give you a loan at the bank. You don't have to get a job. You're choosing everything that you're going through.
Okay.
That makes sense?
It makes sense.
But when you walk into that courtroom, you have no knowledge of that. Communication. Right? So remember when Kanye West was like, slavery is a choice? That's what he was talking about. Because when you understand the definition, then you understand that people choose slavery. You have to choose it. It can't be forced on you because we created the system everybody is living on. So you can't be forced into slavery. But you can be under what's called indentured servitude, where you're working for a master.
They did that for 400 years.
You're still doing it now. People get up every day and go to work, right?
Go to work.
Okay, so if you go to work and you're in business, you're a nurse, and you're in business with yourself, then over the course of an hour, you can see two people and charge them $1,000 a piece. But if you're on the plantation, then that $2,000, you're only going to get so much an hour, so you're only going to get $250 of what you just created. You see what I'm saying? That's called indentured servitude.
Like everybody under slavery right now.
Exactly.
Deep,
man.
talking heavy.
Talking real heavy all the way to the end. Anyway, so it is time for Moel's rant. What you ranting about today?
I don't have a rant today.
How you gonna come in here unprepared?
I just don't have a rant. I vented already before I got here, so it's already gone.
What you gonna give your people? Because you have people that listen to you for that.
I mean, I don't have a rant today. Maybe I should just record my rants when I'm doing them and then post them.
And post them. Okay, we can do that. Well, I guess that's our show then today. So this has been another Beauty in the Brains podcast. Today we talked about communication and social media. Any comments that you have, feel free to leave them down below And we'll see those comments on the YouTube channel and respond to those. As they already know or should know, you can leave your questions at the Gmail account.
At the Gmail down there, a little at the bottom.
The one that's going across the bottom. If you want to make any donations to our show to help us grow, just to give back or whatever, then you can leave it at the Cash App that's down there at the bottom, which we're going to have a Beauty in the Brains Cash App coming soon and stuff like that. So, but this has been an amazing Saturday. We've been thanking y'all for tuning in to us for these weeks consistently. And, just stay up with us. Appreciate our callers for calling in today, giving insight on that, which I'm still floored by that.
Yeah.
How you chart? Never mind. I'm about to rant. I'm about to take your rant.
Go ahead, do a rant.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
How you going to sit up here and charge somebody so you can have a bonus when most of the people living in these complexes are the locals right now? So you're essentially stepping on the heads of the people that have always kept you up and running so you can have a 7% bonus. And they are they don't even know that that's what they're contributing to. They just think that the prices are going up. You know how many people is out here unable to eat because they have to stretch here, stretch there, stretch there. Look at what FPL is doing.
Yep.
Consideration of the community is the number one thing. But who the community is that you're considering is also very important.
Right.
And for the community, you need to learn how to stand up for yourself. Learn where you're needed and where you're necessary politically, especially when it comes to your local politicians and the power that they have on the influence of those that come in to charge and take money away from your community. You should know where your money is going and who it's going to, how it's being used. These things are important.
It is.
I'm the brains.
And
She's the beauty. And this has been a great show.
It has.
So join us next week.
Next week, 9 a.m.
9 a.m. We'll be here.
Do you bad next time. We're going to be on time.
Yeah, we was on time today.
Where are we?
Yes, we was here at the building on time today.
But we didn't
start on time. We started the show later. I agree. But we were definitely on time. But we'll see y'all next week. Everybody have a good and productive week. If you can, start your work week on Tuesday because that's the official start to the week. It's Tuesday. Monday is the day of rest. It's called Moon Day.
Moon Day.
Moon Day. That will be the 6th day. On the 7th day, God rose, which was the sun. So on the 6th day, it's Moon Day.
So a lot of people are going to fight you over that.
I don't care.
They think they have a Saturday for their Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
And then they have the Sunday for their Sabbath.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to fight you over that.
That's fine.
Okay.
We can come and we'll break it down.
All right.
Monday, we're Moon Day, day of rest. That's why don't nobody want to go to work on Monday.
It makes sense.
It's innate. It's already in us. We don't want to do it because we know we're supposed to be chilling on that day. Then when Tuesday come around, look how much energy you have. Just pay attention to yourself naturally.
I pay attention. I just be thinking.
Watch how you feel on Tuesday. Anyway.
You got me dreading it now.
So,
You got me dreading it now.
I always have a 3-day weekend.
You always have a 3-day weekend.
Yeah.
It must be nice.
So anyway, we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. It's been all real. Unless Moel has anything else to say.
I don't.
You sure? You got any shout outs you want to make?
A shout out?
Yeah.
A shout out to my brother for making the best intro music I've ever heard in my life. I love you, Slime.
Shout out to bro for the intro music. Yeah, it's up. We'll see y'all next weekend. Y'all be good this week.
Stay safe.
Stay safe. And this is Beauty in the Brains, and we are signing out.